Good day, students. Welcome to another lesson that is full of knowledge in history and culture. My name is Mr. Rein Curibang, and I will be your teacher for today. Welcome to Culture Talk with Sir Rein. For today's lesson, we will be guided by the following objectives. Generally, our goal is to appreciate the wonderful culture and heritage of our beloved city, the city of Malolos. Specifically, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to define culture, heritage, history, and icon, enumerate the different icons depicting the rich culture of the city of Malolos, and to create a poster showing the cultural heritage of the city of Malolos. Let us start our lesson for today with a simple activity, the Guess the Gibberish Word. Are you familiar with this game? Gibberish words are words that initially do not have a meaning at all, but when you combine them through their sound and pronunciation, you can form a single word that will make sense. Okay, let us begin. Our first set of gibberish words are cool, tour. Can you make a single meaningful word out of these words? That's right. The answer is culture. Our next set of gibberish words are her, it, and age. What do you think is the word that we are looking for? Amazing. The word is heritage. Let us have the last set of gibberish words. I, cone. Can you guess the word? Perfect. The answer is icon. Based on our previous activity, what do you think is our lesson for today? You are correct. Today we are going to discuss about the cultural heritage and icons of our dearest city, the city of Malolos. Before I take you down memory lane, I want you to reflect on these questions. How well do you know the culture and history of our city? Have you been to the remarkable places Malolos is famous for? How does it feel being a Maloleño, knowing that we are known in the Philippines and perhaps in the world as far as culture and history are concerned? To help you reflect on those questions, let us now start our topic for today, the cultural heritage and icons of the city of Malolos. When you talk about history and nationalism in the Philippines, Malolos City is one of the best places to visit. After all, it is the home of the first Philippine Republic, which is the first in Asia, and the cradle of heroism as a lot of brave and patriotic heroes once lived in the soil of this wonderful land. A lot of primary events in our history happened in our city, and up until now, it is still evident when you tour around. Let me take you to some of the most important icons that clearly show our rich cultural heritage that I am sure as a Maloleño, you will be very proud of. Our first stop, the Baraswain Church. 42 kilometers from Metro Manila stands a church which is not only beautiful but very meaningful as well, for it played a very significant part of Philippine history. It was erected in 1859 by the Augustinian missionaries, made up of two structures, the church and the convent. It left a mark which will forever be etched in the hearts of every Filipino, for it is the home of the first Philippine Republic, also known by historians as the Malolos Republic. It was inaugurated on January 23, 1899, which marked the declaration of the Philippines as an independent nation against the Spanish rule. Next, we have the Malolos Cathedral. Found in the central district of Malolos is another remarkable church famous to many as the Malolos Cathedral. During the Spanish regime, Malolos Cathedral is the Palacio Presidencial of Malolos, and surrounding it were the famous houses of mestizos and the officials of the government. In front of the cathedral is the iconic Kalayaan tree, where you could also see the statues of the famous heroes who greatly fought against the Spaniards, namely General Gregorio del Pilar, General Isidoro Torres, Don Pablo Texon, Father Mariano Sibilia, and Doña Basilia Tantoco. Marcelo H. del Pilar also frequented Malolos Cathedral to meet up with the Maginoo of Malolos on their quest to fight against the Spaniards and to end the abuse of the friars at that time. Another iconic place in our city is the Casa Real. Casa Real is a museum where you can view the ancient things like clothing and other materials possessed and used by the famous people of Malolos. It was also where the newspapers La Independencia and Kalayaan were printed. You can also see here the pictures of the famous Maloleñas known as mga kababaihan ng Malolos. Casa means home, while Real refers to Real Audiencia, which performed administrative and judicial functions during the Spanish regime. Therefore, we can say that Casa Real was the home of the people with high positions in the local Spanish government. In the busy marketplace of Central Malolos lies the monument of General Isidoro Torres. Built in 1829, this monument recognizes the courageous deeds of General Isidoro Torres, who greatly fought against the Spaniards. Born in Barangay Matimbo on April 10, 1866, General Torres was also named Matanglawin because of his remarkable strategy in fighting. He won in the battles in Bustos and San Miguel, Bulacan, and the revolution in Macabebe, Pampanga in 1896. He was the only Bulaqueño who was able to organize 1,000 soldiers to fight against the Spaniards. His strategy in war was amazing that led to his biggest victory, which was in the Battle of Real de Benacod in Paumbong, Bulacan. Another remarkable place in Malolos is the Aguas de Potables de Malolos. With the arrival of the Americans, they taught us not only to be educated, but to be hygienic as well. Before, people take a bath and use water from the rivers where also the Carabaos dwell. When the cholera outbreak happened, Filipinos were afraid because there were no source of potable water and clean toilets. With the help of the Americans, the Aguas de Potables de Malolos, a water tank with clean source of water, was built. At present, the Aguas de Potables de Malolos is controversial because of the plan to demolish it. But since it is a part of the 2001 Declaration of National Historical Institute, it is still standing tall because it is an order not to remove built heritage in all places in the Philippines. Also considered famous landmarks in our city are the Gabaldon schools. When you talk about historical places, you do not only deal with ancient churches. You also include old schools. Found in the city of Malolos are the Gabaldon school buildings, which until now are standing and functioning. The school buildings were named after Assemblyman Isauro Gabaldon, who played an important role during the American occupation in the Philippines. 2 Gabaldon school buildings are found in the city of Malolos, and up until now, they are being used as a place for learning. Lastly, let us visit an iconic house in the city, the house of Don Antonio Santos Bautista. Known for its neoclassical style, the house was first built in 1850 and was fully done in 1877 in a French Art Nouveau style. It was made up of adobe on the first floor and wood on the second floor. It has windows also made up of wood with mirrors, spiral column, and mirrors designed with plants and flowers. The design of the ceiling has a Chinese influence. It is decorated with the head of a sheep found on the first floor. Also noticeable are the caryatid women figures, which serve as a support of the structure. There are a lot of significant events that happened in this house, like the visit of Dr. Jose Rizal, wherein he introduced the La Liga Filipina, a secret organization of propagandists. During the time of the First Philippine Republic, the house of Don Antonio Santos Bautista also became the home of Secretaria de Formento, or the kalihim ng pagsulong. There you go, students! Those are some of the iconic places that every Maloleño should know and should find time to visit. They are not only places of beauty and color, but they are also part of our history. And we should always remember and promote them, for they speak so much about the cultural heritage of our city. Now it's your turn, guys! I want you to reflect on our lesson for today and translate it into art. How about showing me your drawing prowess and let me see how much you have learned today? On an Oslo paper, I would like you to make a poster showing the cultural heritage of the city of Malolos. Please pass your work on our next meeting tomorrow and be able to share your thoughts in class. Do you have any more questions? What is your biggest takeaway from today's class? Well, I hope that you have learned a lot today. Remember to always know our roots. It is in knowing and learning the lessons of the past that we can move on at the present and in the future. Thank you very much and have a great day, everyone.